I'm the narrator 1.
I'm Marie and I'm narrator 2.
I'm Melissa and I'm the elder.
I'm Georgia and I'm the princess.
I'm Autumn and I am the prince.
I'm Sarah and I'm the gesture.
I'm Nikki and I am the king.
I'm Izzy and I'm the queen.
And this is the real story of Sleeping Beauty.
And action.
Sleeping Beauty's real name was Priscilla and was not to be convinced that she was far superior to everybody, and she treated all her parents, subjects, and servants accordingly. She ordered them about day and night, making them run back and forth for her pleasure. She never said please or thank you. Instead, she stomped her feet, shook her fists, and complained about everything. Nothing was ever good enough. Her meals were too hot or too cold, her dresses were too tight or too loose, and so on. Priscilla disliked everybody, but the feeling was definitely mutual.
Priscilla's parents, the king and queen, were very kind. They loved their subjects and ruled them fairly. They were both extremely distressed about their one child's behavior and did all they could to improve her disposition. When Priscilla was a child, they hired the best storytellers and musicians to perform for her. They brought in other children for Priscilla to play with and filled her room with piles of toys. But Priscilla was rude to the storytellers, broke the musicians' instruments, and chased away the children. She hoarded her toys and asked for more, but she never played with them.
More, more, more.
The king and queen became desperate. They even tried putting extra sugar in her meals, hoping to sweeten her temper. But although the court dentist was pretty busy, nothing worked. As Priscilla's 16th birthday approached, the queen said to the king with tears in her eyes,
I'm at my wit's end. We've tried everything we could think of and nothing has worked. Our daughter is awful. She will never be a good successor to the throne.
And no one will ever want to marry her, even for half the kingdom. Besides, she would never accept anyone as a husband anyway.
Before we give up, maybe we should consult our counselors to see once more. Perhaps someone has thought of a new idea we can try.
And that's what they did. All the royal counselors gathered in the royal meeting hall to offer their advice on this vexing situation. They murmured knowledgeably and scratched their heads wisely, but no one could think of anything to say. After 16 years, they were all out of ideas. Eventually, everyone realized that somebody would have to say something.
Let us approach this problem practically. For 16 years, we've been racking our brains to determine how to make Princess Priscilla more pleasant. Perhaps we should approach this dilemma from another angle. When is Priscilla most pleasant?
This was a difficult question. The princess was seldom in a good mood. Finally, after a lot of head-scratching, one counselor said brightly,
The princess seemed to be in a good mood when I saw her yesterday.
Well, what was she doing?
She was twisting the royal cat's tail.
Yes, well, thank you. That wasn't exactly what I was looking for. Sleep is known to have soothing powers. Maybe all the princess needs is to sleep for a while.
What do you mean? Priscilla sleeps quite well, even if the bed is never made to her satisfaction.
When I say long sleep, I mean really long sleep. One that may last for years if necessary.
For years? How is that possible?
Well, we could have a court magician cast a spell that would make the princess sleep until her temperament, shall we say, mellows.
I guess that might work.
What if she never knows? We can't just let her sleep forever.
I have it. The spell will work until either the princess becomes pleasant and happy, or until 100 years have passed. If she is still sleeping after 100 years, the prince will find her and wake her up, ending the spell.
We will have to think about this for a while. No matter how terrible she is, Priscilla is our daughter. We must do what's best for her.
After months of thinking and watching Priscilla gleefully reduce everyone around her to tears by both cruel words and cruel actions, the sad parents concluded that a long sleep was Priscilla's only hope.
Once they reached that decision, the king and queen had to find a way to carry it out. After consulting the court magician, they decided to throw Priscilla a sweet 16 party. They would present her with an enchanted spindle as one of her gifts. The careless princess was sure to hurt herself unleashing the spell.
On the day of her birthday, Priscilla had a great time. She yelled at all 5 of the maids who helped her get ready, pulled their hair, and made them change her dress and hairstyle 20 times. On the way to the ballroom, she tripped her servants, who were carrying trays of food to the dining table, then laughed heartedly while they scrambled to pick up the broken dishes and clean up the food. She kicked her pet dog hard enough to send it flying across the room and snipped all the blossoms off the flower arrangements.
During the party, she continued to enjoy herself. While dancing, she stomped on her parents' feet with her spiked heels, which she wore specifically for that purpose. When all the guests in their fancy clothes sat down to dinner, Priscilla began to spill red wine and throw food at everybody seated at her table. The guests were horrified but said nothing. After all, she was a princess and it was her birthday. The king and queen sat helplessly and watched while her daughter tormented the honored guests. They knew that if anyone reapproached Priscilla, she would throw a tantrum. Finally, the time for opening gifts arrived. Priscilla ran to the pile of beautiful wrapped packages and began ripping up bows and paper. She unwrapped each present. She made fun of it and of the person who gave it. Naturally, nothing was good enough for her, and she did not fail to let everybody know it. Eventually, she opened the spindle.
Spindle? Who ever heard of a princess spin? I certainly don't intend on spending my time on such a stupid activity. But I think it will make good use of this sharp point. Yes, indeed. It will make my servants move faster. Ouch! Oh yes, this will do just fine.
If the guests thought this behavior was strange, they did not mention it. They were only too happy to say their goodbyes and tiptoe out of the palace. Most of them had come to the party out of their respect for the king and the queen, and while they pitied the poor couple, the guests did not want to spend any more time with the unpleasant princess that was absolutely unnecessary. After the guests left, the king and the queen placed their daughter in a tower just outside the castle wall. Thought that a prince was more likely to kiss her, he did not have to go through the whole palace to reach her. The queen put the spindle near the bed, as the sight of it made her too sad and to keep it in the castle. The king and the queen made sure Priscilla was comfortably and beautifully dressed, that the room was warm and clean, and they visited her every day.
As time passed, fewer people remembered Priscilla, and the tower in the woods became the center of many legends. The only true thing people remembered was Priscilla's great beauty. People added new elements to the story, creating fairies and jealous witches to make it more interesting. Someone even insisted that the princess was cursed because one fairy fell snub when she was not invited to the birthday bake. And so the sleeping princess became more and more mysterious until no one remembered how nasty Priscilla had been. About 100 years after Priscilla went to sleep, the prince was riding through the forest around the walls of an old castle. He had heard many stories about the mysterious sleeping princess, and as his brother sleeping, he was sure that she was meant for him. He spent days wandering through the forest, hoping to glimpse the tower. The thorny branches tore at his clothes and skin. He and his horse were tired and hungry, but the princess was determined to accomplish this mission. One morning, he spied the tower.
The prince hardly noticed the next few hours as he hacked his way through the brush. He was busy imagining what the princess would look like and composing what he would say to her. When the prince finally reached the tower, he found the door open. He flung up the curving stairway, breathless with anticipation. The stairs ended abruptly, and suddenly the prince burst into a big room, in the middle of which the princess was sleeping on a large, luxurious bed.
He pinched himself to make sure he was not dreaming. Until this moment, he realized he had not been completely convinced that all the stories he heard were true. His knees grew weak, and he had to hold onto the wall to keep from falling down. The princess was a breathtaking, beautiful beauty as she had imagined her. For once, her face was relaxed and not screwed up in a scowl. Her many curls spilled out onto the pillow, framing her face, and her clothes were very becoming. The century-old fashion was just becoming back into style. Once the princess reclaimed his wits, he slowly approached the bed. Love tapped Princess Priscilla
she climbed off the bed and began stomping around the room. Then she noticed the spindle that her unhappy mother had left by the bed. The enraged princess grabbed the spindle and aimed it at the window. As she did so, one of the spindle's sharp ends pricked Priscilla's hand. Unfortunately for Priscilla, 100 years had not erased the spindle's magic, and she began to feel very sleepy. She barely had time to climb back into bed before her eyes